Hi, my name's Laura. I'm Josh's girlfriend, and I'm going to be hiking the PCT this year. Since I'm making him do some sections of the PCT with me, he is in turn making me do some content with him. We just filmed a video going over what's in his pack, but this video is going to be going over what's in my pack and what I'm going to be carrying for the PCT. So to start, we'll go through what I'm currently wearing. This is going to be what I'm wearing most days while on trail. So I have my sunglasses. These are just some gooder sunglasses. Honestly, I'm looking for a different pair that has some side protection, so if you have any good suggestions, let me know. Then I have my hat. It's a Cotopaxi hat. I just thought it was cute. Next up, I have my sun hoodie. This is an outdoor research sun hoodie. I believe it's the Echo sun hoodie. I got it at PCT days last year just because I thought the pattern was cute, but it's really, really comfortable and nice and lightweight. Underneath the sun hoodie, I have a sports bra that's just from Target. It's pretty comfortable, but I also have a smart wool one that I might swap to later on the trail. I have my Garmin watch. It's a Garmin, I think so, yeah, Garmin Instinct 2. It has the solar charging feature on it, which is super cool because we'll be spending a lot of time out in the sun, so that'll help with the battery life a little bit. On my lower half here, for my shorts, I have these REI running shorts. I believe they're the Swiftland shorts. They have this really cool second layer that's a little bit longer, so it stays down around my thunder thighs so I don't get the chafing happening. On my feet here, I got some Injinji toe socks. Josh personally hates them and thinks my feet look like little hands, but I like them, so I'm gonna wear them. Next up for my feet, I have my trail runners. These are the Topo Athletic Terra 4s. Terra Venture 4s. Really comfortable, so hopefully they hold up well while hiking. And then I also have these gaiters. They're from Dirty Girl Gaiters. Honestly, got a little overwhelmed by their color selection, so I just went with a nice solid color. Next up, I have my trekking poles here. These are just a pair of black diamond trekking poles. I honestly think I stole them from my mom at some point when I was in high school. They're a little bit heavy and bulky, but they work well and I like them, so I'm not going to swap them out unless they break or something like that. Next up, I have my fanny pack. It's from the brand ULA. It's convenient for keeping small stuff that I want to have accessible while I'm hiking. It's also nice to have this during town stops so that I don't necessarily have to have my full pack with me all the time, and I can keep snacks in there during the day so I can just eat while I'm hiking on trail. So this is the contents of my fanny pack. The first thing that I have in here is my inhaler. Next up, I have some allergy meds, some vitamin I, my earbuds, a little Swiss Army knife, a little tube of sunscreen for my face, my headlamp so it's easily accessible, and finally my permit. All of this comes in to about 14.1 ounces. Now, diving into my backpack here. This is the Gossamer Gear Mariposa, and a big shout out to the Gear Fix. They hooked both Josh and I up with one of these packs. I actually had another ultralight pack. It was the ULA Circuit. I still have it. I love that pack, but I'm going to test this one out for the first section of trail. At some point, I'll probably do a comparison video between the two, but super awesome of them to get us hooked up with these packs so that we can hike in comfort. Before I dive into the contents of my pack, I'm going to get a base weight on it. I have absolutely everything in here aside from water, food, and fuel, so everything that will be remaining constant. Alright, that is coming in right at 19.6 pounds. Okay, let's start with what I have clipped on the outside of my pack. So starting on this side, I have a little water bottle holder. It's from Sea-Tug. This will be nice because I have short arms. I can't always reach my side pockets to get my water bottle, so it's just right there and accessible for me. Next up, I have my Garmin InReach Mini 2. This is going to be super helpful for keeping in touch with my family and friends, and also keeping in touch with Josh so that we can coordinate where we're going to be meeting up once he's no longer hiking with me. Next up, I have my People Spray. This is just a little bit of safety. I'm a relatively small female, and when Josh isn't with me, I want to make sure that I feel safe and comfortable, and I know it makes my mom feel more secure with me being on trail. Up here, I have this little thermometer. It has a button that you can push and it'll tell you the highs and the lows for the day, so that'll kind of help me keep track of what kind of weather I might be experiencing the next night and, what the high got to if I was dying during the day. Right next to my little thermometer here, I have my Kula cloth clipped on a little retractable leash. This makes it just easy to access while I'm hiking. I don't have to take the cloth off my bag or my pack off to be able to access it. On the front side of my pack here, clipped on the outside, I have my ice axe. We probably won't be carrying these for too long, but since we are starting so early, we're not sure what kind of conditions we're going to be encountering in the San Jacintos. So we're going to carry this for now and then maybe change that up once we actually start hiking. I also have a mug clipped on the back here. It's not really necessary, but I like drinking my coffee while I eat my breakfast, and I just like this mug, so kind of nice to have as a little comfort item. Alright, let's dive into this first side pocket here. So first of all, I have this ultralight sunbrella. It's from the brand Gossamer Gear. My best friend got me this for Christmas. It should be super helpful when we're in the desert section to make sure that we are not getting bombarded by the sunshine, and then if there's a little bit of drizzle, it'll also protect me from the rain. Next up, I have this Gossamer Gear foam pad. This will be nice to have under my sleep pad in my tent, make sure that my inflatable pad is protected from everything, and also just during the day if we stop for lunch or want to take a seat somewhere, I can set this on the ground so I'm not just sitting on the dirt. In this pocket, I also have a smart water bottle. It has a Bottle Genius sticker on here, which will be nice. It has measurements so that if we are cooking anything with specific measurements, we can kind of know how much water we're using. Next up in this pocket, I have my micro spikes. They're from Snowline Technical Mountain Gear, and these, again, we'll probably be getting rid of after we're in the mountain areas and in the Sierras, but for now, while we're in the San Jacintos, we don't really know what the snow conditions are going to look like, so both Josh and I are carrying these. On this side of the bag, in this lower pocket here, I have a second smart water bottle. And then I also have this Frog Togs rain poncho. If we end up encountering any weather while we're hiking, this will be nice to throw over ourselves, and it also should be large enough that I can drape it over my backpack so I don't have to use a rain pack cover for that as well. It's kind of a 2-in-1. In this upper pocket on this side, the first thing that I have is my tent stakes. And then next up I have my poop kit. I want this to be nice and accessible in case nature calls at an inopportune time. But in here I have a little bag of compact towelettes that just pop up with a little bit of water. I have a Ziploc so that I can put any of those little towelettes in after they're used. I have my trowel for digging cat holes, and then I also have a bidet. This is a water bottle that will pair with the bidet so that I don't have to use any of my drinking bottles for that. In here, I also have a very small dry bag. This will be for laundry purposes, so that if we're camped up for the night near a water source, we can throw a little bit of water and some soap in here along with socks and undies, small things like that, give it a little scrub, and have fresh stuff to wear in the morning. The last thing in this pocket is just a couple of extra Ziplocs. These are going to be used as trash bags, so nice to have a couple in case one gets full or gets a hole in it or something like that. The next thing that we'll dive into here is the front mesh pocket on my bag. The first thing that I have in here is my water kit. So in here I have a 1-liter Hydro Pack bag. I also have a 2-liter CNOC bag. I have my back flush syringe for my Sawyer, and then I have a full-size Sawyer squeeze. I used to have the mini, but I went with the full size for this just because it'll be getting a lot of use. The next item that I have in here is my first aid and repair kit. So in my first aid kit, I have a little bit of chapstick, a few strips of KT tape, some ointments and wipes, a little blister kit, some bandages, and a repair kit. I also have a few bennies just in case, and a little mosquito net. Everything in my first aid kit comes in at 4.7 ounces. And then I also have a pair of camp shoes. These are just some Zero sandals, which will be nice for hanging out in the evenings, shower shoes, and if I'm just really tired of being in my trail runners. Up in this top pocket here, I have a windbreaker. This will be nice if it's ever super windy on trail or I want something not as heavy as my other layers. And I also have a pair of sun gloves. The hip belt pocket on this side is currently empty. That is also going to be a snack pocket because I like snacks. But the one on this side has some stuff in it. I have a bottle of hand sanitizer that I can't grab. I have a little spray thing of sunscreen. I have a chafe stick because I got thick thighs. And I have a chapstick because I'm addicted to that stuff. Now, diving into the main part of my backpack here. First thing that I have right on top is my puffy jacket. This is the Enlightened Equipment Torrid jacket. I want that to be nice and accessible if I ever get cold in the morning or in the evenings. Next up, I have my Alpha hoodie. This is from Farpoint, which is a small shop in Newport, Oregon, so semi-local to us. Super cozy and comfy. It'll be nice for sleeping in and also just a good mid-layer. Next, right on top, I have my tent. This is the Gossamer Gear, the one tent that I have just in a DCF bag so that if we get any weather, it'll stay nice and dry. Okay. Next up, I have my electronics bag. I have this in a ZipSacks bag, which is actually a small company that's local to Bend. It's products made for hikers by a hiker, so it's super awesome. And ZipSacks is actually sponsoring us on this journey, so shout out to them for that. We'll have a link in the description for all of their information. In my electronics bag, the first thing I have is a charging cube. Then I have my FlexTail air pump. I have a few different charging cables for things like my phone, my watch, my inReach, all that fun stuff. I have a set of hand warmers in case it gets chilly at night. I have my Nightcore power bank, and then I have a pen and notepad just so I can keep a little journal for myself. My electronics bag comes in at 1 pound 10.3 ounces. Next up, I have my pot. I have the Tokes 700 milliliter pot, and then just this handy little strap to keep everything together. Inside of this, I have a lighter with some duct tape wrapped around it, as well as my stove. This is the MSR Pocket Rocket 2, and then I have a buff in here just to kind of keep everything from rattling around too much while I'm hiking. Next, I have my clothing bag. Still not certain of everything that I have in here, but we'll figure it out. So in my clothing bag, the first thing I have is a pair of REI Trailmade pants. Next up, I have 2 pairs of smart wool socks, 2 extra pairs of underwear. One is ex officio, one is from the brand Buck Naked. Then some outdoor research mittens. I believe that is a Nike tank top, a beanie. And then I have some smart wool base layers, a top and bottom. All of my extra clothes come in at 2 pounds, 1.3 ounces. Up next, I have my food bag, currently empty, but this will get filled up real quick. Inside of here, I also have it's a 3D printed stand for my fuel can, so if I'm ever putting my pot on something that's a little unsteady, this will help out a bit. I have a long spork, and I have a really cute little salt and pepper shaker to add a little bit of flavor to my food. Next up is my toiletries bag. In my toiletry bag, the first thing that I have is some soap sheets. Next up, I have a little hairbrush. I have a flip fuel. I don't know where that's gonna live. Some medication. Some little towels. A spare pair of contacts. Earplugs to sleep in. Some woo-woo meds. A little bit of salve, some rubbing alcohol spray, toothpaste tabs, and a toothbrush, another chapstick, some face lotion, hair ties, nail clippers, a cork massage ball, and some wipes. All of this comes in at just over £1 pound. Next up in here is this. It's a pillowcase that my mom and I made out of an old down blanket that we found, so that's really handy to have. Inside of that, I just have my pillow. Thing that I have in here is this sleeping bag liner. I'm thinking this will be handy to use as kind of like a sheet over my sleeping pad. Next up is my sleeping pad. Next up is my sleeping pad. The Mariposa backpack has a little pocket in the back that's meant for like a water bladder, but I'm gonna stick this in there, trying to give the back of it a little bit of extra support. In that same pocket, I also have this Tyvek footprint. My mom and I cut this to be the exact shape of the bathtub of my tent so that I won't have any extra hanging over. And in that pocket, I also have a little koozie for some food. My parents have a freeze dryer, so they've been making us a ton of homemade freeze-dried food, so this will be really nice for rehydrating those. The next thing in my pack is my sleep quilt. This is the Enlighten equipment. I believe it's the Apex quilt. It's the synthetic version, but it's a 20-degree quilt, so this should keep me nice and toasty on the PCT. And last but not least, I have a trash bag. This is going to be used as a pack liner. I'm going to keep it on the bottom of my pack when I'm not using it, when it's not bad or rainy weather, just to kind of give the bottom a little bit of extra protection. And then if there ever is any precipitation coming in, I can just shove all of my stuff in here and it'll keep it nice and waterproof. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That is everything that's in my pack that I'll be carrying with me for the first part of the PCT. Obviously, that's going to be evolving a little bit. Once I'm in the areas that require a bear can, I'll be carrying a bear can. Once I'm out of the snow areas, I'll be getting rid of some of the snow gear. And I'm sure stuff will change along the way as I just adapt to my environment. But if you want, we made a video of what's in Josh's pack too. You can go check that out. Also, thank you for bearing with my awkwardness. And yeah, bye.